Minutes on account of the monsoon and hailstorm that decided to visit us for this evening. But our MC for the night is a guy that I don't think needs a tremendous amount of introduction, but his family has been great supporters of 4Diamonds since the beginning in 1972. And if you didn't get a chance, take a look at the picture of Joe Paterno and Charles and Irma Millard when they started it. Without further ado, former Penn State assistant coach, quarterbacks coach, and a name that will live in infamy in Penn State history, Jay Paterno.
Thank you. Thank you, Shane. Welcome to everybody here, and first of all, thanks for everybody coming out and support this cause. This is obviously something that, I often say to people that of all the things that Penn State does, this may be the best that we do. Because there are college students every year that graduate that are involved in Thon that can look in the mirror and say to themselves, before I left college, I saved lives. And what better thing is there that you can do than save someone's life, save a child's life? But let's talk about tonight. Why are we here? Well, Shane and Ann started this. This is my second year here. I don't know if there was one before I got here or not, but Shane and Ann started this because they wanted to give back and they wanted to say thanks. Their son Charlie, because of 4Diamonds, because of what happened, okay, they're going to see Charlie grow up. They see him run. They see him smile. Someday, Ann will cry when he is on the altar waiting for his bride to come down the aisle. Perhaps. Maybe she won't cry. Maybe she'll be glad to get him out of the house. My mom did not cry when I got married. Not my problem anymore. But that's what this is about. It's about the individuals whose lives are saved and changed. It's about the families who get those memories that they might not have otherwise had. That's why we're here tonight. We're here to recognize that we as a society are our brothers and sisters' keeper, and that we stand tallest when we reach down to help someone up. So as we get started, I want to take a moment to thank the sponsors tonight and the committee members for making this night of childhood cancer awareness through Huddle Up FTK possible. I don't know if all the sponsors are here or not, but I'm going to call you out anyway. We have Tracy Steele. Okay, Tracy's right here of Morgan Lewis. She's also the 4Diamonds Advisory Board. We have Vance Antonacci. He is a partner at McNeese, Wallace & York. Where is he?
He's not here right now.
Okay, good. If I didn't get his name right, then I know one will mind. Greg Marco. Is Greg here? All right, there's Greg. From the Company Spiritual Benefits. Brian Wassel, I know, is not here. He is in Chicago. I guess he and his wife got a couple nights away from the kids. And as a father of 5 kids of my own, when you get those moments, you take them. But he's a partner of Trot Eversole and Groff. Jim Sponagel, is Jim here?
No, Jim's
not here, but hey, they're part of this whole thing. Vice President of Riley Welding. Matt Doran, CEO and President of OnSite Communications, there he is. Young guy to be a CEO. Must be pretty sharp. And of course, Shane Beecher, who needs no introduction to anyone in this room, because I'm sure he has called every one of you, emailed every one of you, texted every one of you, Facebooked every one of you, and God knows what else to get this thing going, get this thing done. And obviously, a big round of applause for Shane and Ann. All right, tonight we're going to celebrate the work of 4Diamonds with Penn State football and the past and present lettermen. It's a long tradition that many people don't know, but having coached there for many years, there were a lot of, every year at Thon, we would have Thon kids in our building running around, tackling our guys, which didn't make us feel too good as coaches that our guys could get tackled by them. But they got an experience as part of Penn State. And tonight, We're going to celebrate childhood cancer awareness. We're going to celebrate the victories that we've had against childhood cancer. And obviously, it'll throw a little support towards Penn State. The season is just a little over a month away. It's not about, yeah, no. I don't have to worry about that anymore, though. It's great. It's not about how much money we raise tonight. It's our chance to show that we care, to honor the children and the families that are fighting now. They fight for every sunrise and sunset that looms just over the horizon. Humidity got me. We're also here to share with others, through your involvement in the mission of 4Diamonds, and share ways to participate and where you can help throughout the year. Now, tonight is called Huddle Up. It's called Huddle Up because a huddle is symbolic. Before each drive begins, and before a lot of plays begin, I know there's a lot of no-huddle offenses left or out there in the world these days, but before every play, when a team huddles up, that team, 11 people come together, they hold hands, and they listen, and they hear what play is called and what defense is called, and they know instinctively what their mission is in that play or in that defense, and they know what they must do. They have a role to play. So when they break the huddle to compete against their opponent, they know they have to do that job, and they know that each person in that huddle is counting on their teammate to do what they're supposed to do. So your challenge tonight is to leave this huddle and find a way, even if it's a very small part, to play a role in the fight against pediatric cancer. Now, Shane emailed me a couple of things that he suggests you get involved in. As you know, Shane is persistent. There is a run. The Conquer Run is a 5K held at Hershey Park on October 4th. All ages and skill levels are welcome. My skill level, that's good because my skill level in 5Ks is non-existent. You can walk or run. But the key thing is to be there and be part of it. You can form your own team. You can join the Beechers team or any of the families that are in attendance tonight. There will be a national awareness story this year surrounding the event, featuring a brave young man who just hit me up on Twitter a couple days ago, Norm Horn. Norm is walking across the country to raise awareness for 4Diamonds. Okay, just so you know, Forrest Gump was a movie. That didn't really happen. This guy is really doing this, and God bless him for doing it. There's the Thon 5K that's held on Penn State's campus on November 2nd. Great excuse to get up there. I know all of us who are Penn State fans that don't live in State College, unfortunately I still live there, are always looking for an excuse to get to Penn State. There's your excuse. And you can feel good about it. Wives, you can say to your husbands, I'm going up to run a 4K. I better be there Saturday. Come up, shop, spend the night, go to the Skeller, whatever it is. But it's a great excuse to come up. Which now brings us, yeah, I know some of you have been to the Skeller. I know some people I see in the back. We'll keep our mouths shut. Which brings me to mini-thons. And mini-thons is something, that may be the coolest thing that I've seen. The explosion of mini-thons all over the state. It's one of my favorite things. Schools across the state and the surrounding region hold mini multi-hour dance events, mini-thons. They support 4Diamonds. They give students an opportunity to use their creativity and their curriculum and skills outside of the classroom. And they're a great way for students and schools to foster school spirit. Penn State and Thon, through that program, the mini-thon, Penn State and Thon become a beacon to young people, teaching them to give back to others. A powerful lesson that I hope young people get in the world that sometimes is so self-absorbed, where every lesson you get is, what dress did Kim wear, Kardashian wear to her wedding? Who gives a crap? Okay? I want kids to learn to give back, and mini-thons are a great way to do it. My own two daughters participated in one in their middle school. They raised tens of thousands of dollars for children that they will most likely never meet, but children that may breathe easier because of what they did. That brings us to our next speaker. I want to introduce our next speaker, Tyler Butterball. Butterball, not Butterball. Somebody, and if you see him, you'll know he's an athlete. He's a young man from Hempfield High School. Last year, his high school raised over $100,000, a phenomenal sum. Most of us, when we were in high school, had trouble tying our shoes, let alone raising $100,000. But he will be a junior this year. He's a two-sport athlete, lettering in swimming and volleyball. He's been to state semifinals with his team in volleyball 2 years in a row. And obviously, being a competitor like he is, his goal is to win the title this year. More importantly, in the classroom and off the court and out of the pool, he's an honor student. He's a member of the Minithon Varsity Club, Society for Academic Excellence in Foreign Languages, a volunteer peer tutor, and participated in Anchor Club. He's active in youth activities for the Catholic Church and several other nonprofits. He must have a great schedule, because with all that, he carries a 3.92 GPA. He's looking forward to college, and his goal is to become an orthopedic surgeon. In his spare time, I don't know where he finds spare time, but his part-time yard work and landscaping. He loves playing and watching sports with his buddies, and especially loves, and I like this part the best, especially loves Penn State football. And his family have been season ticket holders for over 25 years. His parents are Steve and Jody. He has two sisters, Morgan and Jillian. Tyler, I'd like to come up now, and I would like to speak about your experience with Minithon and Hempfield Minithon. Welcome, Tyler Butterball.
For as long as I can remember, I'd always tell my parents, one day, I'm going to be a Nittany Lion. Participate in the whiteouts, yell out, "We are," knowing someone will always yell back, "Penn State." Just experience the great university I came to know and love. I lived for the football games and the atmosphere that came with them, but as I got older, I realized Penn State was more than just athletics. Everywhere I'd go, I see these crazy kids decked out in Penn State gear and asking people to donate to Thon. So obviously this sparked my interest, and I came to find out that this Thon thing was actually a pretty big deal. The largest student-run philanthropic organization to help raise money for pediatric cancer. I knew it was something I had to be a part of. So luckily enough for me, my school had a Minithon club, and freshman year rolled around, and I dove right in and haven't looked back since. Over the past 2 years, we've raised over $235,000 for the 4Diamonds Fund. In a large school such as Hempfield, it's hard to get the whole school together for a unified cause until Minithon comes around. We stay all night for the fight, like our committee likes to say, with people we might not necessarily have associated with before. It's truly a school-wide bonding experience. Never before have I seen so much laughter, tears, and camaraderie in one night. From the pep rally and the ridiculous sports team dances to the luminary walk halfway through the night to honor those who have had cancer and continue to struggle with it. Not one person forgets why we're there, for the kids. The resilience of those such as Darian Erb, a former Hempfield graduate and 4Diamonds beneficiary that beat cancer, led our Minithon committee this year to aid those who are in the same situation he was. Or Charlie, who was diagnosed at 16 months old, but showed the bravery and strength of his favorite superhero. But not just his strength, his family's as well, including his brother Max, who never left his side throughout Charlie's whole journey, that continues to this day. The families and the kids genuinely appreciate all of our efforts through Thon, mini-thons like mine, and the Conquer Run in October. I ask you to engage a curiosity that has been stirred tonight, as I did and many like myself, and join the fight. The kids and the family in this community and around the country need you to act on this curiosity. To do that, we need courage, strength, wisdom, and honesty, just as every child and family needs to weather the journey. I promise you, based on my experience, you will not be disappointed with what you'd find when you join the mission to beat childhood cancer. For the kids, thank you.
Remember, you're going to Penn State. All right. Now, what we're going to do now is I'm going to introduce some of the former players that are here. I'm going to introduce them, and then we're going to move on to where we have some time to socialize and eat, and then we'll come back. But I want to introduce some former players. Some of these guys are teammates of mine. That's how old they are. Ryan Groove. Ryan, I saw Ryan somewhere back there. We got Todd Lucy right there. We got Mike Groove. Mike's actually older. I think you're the senior member of the former players group here tonight. Mike Malinowski. Mike Garcia. Did I see Stephen Pitts? Yeah, there he is. Stephen Pitts. All right. Did I get everybody?
You're good.
We're good? Okay, I got them all. Good. We also have a current player here that you're going to hear from a little bit later. Ben Klein. Where's Ben back there? You got to get off those questions.
Hey Jay, you can't forget Stacy and Amy played field hockey up there.
There you go. Thanks, Amy played field hockey, which, by the way, field hockey players are a lot tougher than football players. They do, and they carry sticks, so you listen to whatever they say. So we're going to go now to a little downtime, a little eat time, a little socializing. So enjoy your time interacting with players, let them into each other. Help yourself to the cash bar, eat at your own pace. Food will be served buffet style in the rooms. I see some people already found them. That's okay. And enjoy the company, and we'll be back.
Let's go, people. Get up.
There's a long tradition of Penn State football helping kids with cancer and pediatric cancer awareness. Penn State's only Heisman Trophy was donated to a little boy with cancer. You just saw in that clip John Cappelletti accept his Heisman Trophy. Many see that clip 40-some years later and think he was happy. His head was hung with emotion because his little brother was dying of cancer. Penn State's only Heisman Trophy. A few short days after that day, Joey Cappelletti died. The survival rate of ALL in 1973 was 10%. All-American wide receiver Jimmy Cephalo in 1978, inspired by Joey's story and 4Diamonds story by Chris Millard, challenged Thon in the Mary White building and asked them to donate all of their funds, all of them, to 4Diamonds. And here we are, 42 years later. Penn State Thon students have raised over $100 million, and them and 4Diamonds and all their research and many others, the survival rate of ALL is 90%. Another example is today at 4:30. The Penn State football team and Coach Franklin went to the Children's Hospital to visit all those children suffering through what I can tell you is one of the most challenging battles and journeys those children could experience. That's the good news. Bad news is there's many pediatric cancers like rhabdomyosarcoma that touched our son, Charlie, and Chris Millard. There are two subtypes. One has a survival rate of 10% and another has a survival rate of 65. That's not acceptable. And sadly, pediatric cancer has touched the brotherhood of you Lettermen once again. But not once, twice this year. Former defensive tackle Devin Stills with the Cincinnati Bengals, running back Gary Brown, running backs coach, Dallas Cowboys, his daughter. Both their daughters diagnosed within the last 12 months. What is the Brotherhood going to do to respond this time? Could be a national awareness campaign in the month of September. Could be the Thon game. I don't know. But I do know this. Dr. Valerie Brown, we just brought up from Vanderbilt University, the director of Pediatric Experimental Therapeutics, in our December board meeting for 4Diamonds, said something to the board that was very, very profound to me. She said, we are more likely to find a cure for cancer through pediatric cancer research than adult cancer research, because pediatric cancer researchers play in the same sandbox. We share our information and our research openly. And the reason that's happened is because the economics of the situation. Only 4 cents of every research dollar for cancer goes to pediatric cancer research. And that is something we need to change dramatically in this nation, especially since we have the infrastructure in front of us that is clearly better. There are 600 children every year from our state, this community, that are rolling through the Children's Hospital every year that have been diagnosed with cancer. My wife shared a statistic with me that was somewhat mind-boggling. Ages 0 to 7 represented 38% of 83 of the diagnoses that took place this year. The child with cancer has about 70 to 80 years of life left in front of them. And unfortunately, 1 in 5 that are diagnosed will die. Think about how many more years of life we can save by getting behind this cause. And you're all here helping to do that tonight. And that's why we're huddled up. It's that simple. Now I'd like to tell you a little bit about our keynote speaker. Penn State football has a very, very special place in my family's heart. And the reason it has a special place is because every year when we go to the Lash, we're fortunate enough to spend 5 or 6 hours with the team and the coaches. And as you've gotten to know Ben tonight, they're great guys to talk to and get to know, and the former Letterman that went before him. Heck, performance enhancement coach, as he calls himself now, Coach Dwight Gall, told me I'm always welcome in the weight room, and I'm always welcome at the Lash. And when he told me that in February, Ann can tell you she had to stop me a few early mornings from making the trip up to State College. Okay? But that's all possible because Thon and Penn State football want to do their part. And Joe Paterno was right. We are so lucky. And what makes us lucky is all the relationships in our life. And it's because of all those relationships why we're here tonight. Tonight you've had the chance to get to know Ben and the Letterman that had went before him that blazed the path to really understand what Penn State football is all about. It's about taking care of each other like family, no matter what. No matter how many years between you, you still take care of each other. So I want to thank you, Todd Rucci, Brian Grube, Stephen Pitts, Ben Klein, Mike Gooman, and Jay Paterno, and I hope I didn't miss anybody, for being here tonight. and Mike Malinowski, thank you for being here tonight, because you guys mean so much in what you do every year at the Lash for the kids and all you're doing for rare diseases with uplifting athletes. When Bill O'Brien left December 31st on New Year's Eve, many of our parties were hung with heavy hearts. Many of us wondered, what's next? How much more can we take? And a few short days later, a Penn State linebacker with a tremendous heart released an article called "The Heart of Penn State Football." His name is Ben Klein. Football is a game, quote, Ben said, football is a game built on the backs of players. It is built on the backs of the men who battle between the lines on game day, not the men who roam the sideline or sit in the press box. Ben is a leader on and off the field. He is the model student athlete. His teammate tight end Adam Brenneman, in an interview a few weeks ago, said, Ben could probably be the President of the United States someday. For now, he's the president of Uplifting Athletes, which just set a single year record for most money raised, $140,000, and helped raise almost $1 million in 12 years. And that organization was founded by wide receiver Letterman Scott Shirley. The Kidney Cancer Association is a rare disease, and when you look at Uplifting Athletes page, many of those diseases are pediatric cancers. Ben's going to graduate in December with honors from the Smeal School of Business and Finance. When he's done, he'll have at least 2 degrees, maybe more. He's a 2-time academic All-American. Not to mention, he's a hard-nosed linebacker who loves to hit and has 2 speeds, fast and go. Guy's always going. But he has 2 years left to play. And as you know, Ben has had a recent setback. In fact, Jay Paterno told him, you got to get off those crutches. And you know, that would cause most men to doubt. It would cause most men to have a pretty darn good excuse not to be here tonight. Not Ben. Ben's a man of his word. Ben kept his promise. And I would like to thank Rick and Lisa Klein for teaching him so very well. And thank you, Ben. And as I ponder setbacks, and I've had a few in my life, but what I learned from the game of football is setbacks build character, and what you do through those setbacks, you gather followers. And the men who overcome that adversity earn respect from those followers. All your teammates are watching, man. After you overcome, you find yourself with a newfound confidence, making you able to rise up and lead like you never thought before. To help those people overcome similar challenges, whatever you do in life. So Ben is going to rally us tonight with life lessons and how football relates to childhood cancer awareness. And he's a young man of extreme heart and passion in everything he does, and you will see that tonight. And when his playing days are over, someday long down the road, any organization in this room or anywhere in this country is going to be so lucky to have him. He's going to be a huge asset to anyone. Until then, Penn State is blessed to have him in their locker room, on their field, in their classrooms, and most importantly, his leadership. After his patient recovery over the next several months, he will step on that field once again to play fast and go. I am proud to introduce to you the heart of Penn State football, Ben Klein. Bring it in nice and tight.
First off, I'd like to thank the Beecher family and everyone else involved for putting on this great event. It's an absolute honor and privilege to speak here tonight. It really means a lot to me to be involved in something as special as this. I'm a football guy. I know Mr. Beecher just talked about some of the other stuff I'm involved in, but any of the lettermen here can attest to the fact that you don't play at Penn State unless you're a football guy first. So when I see problems off the field, I kind of try to apply the lessons that I've learned through all my years on the field. So we're all here tonight to huddle up in the fight against pediatric cancer. So I think we should start with the scouting report. Now there's no place for euphemisms in these things, only hard truths. The reputation of our opponent is well known. It has no concern with right or wrong, fair or unfair. It invades, hurts, and often takes the lives of our most promising and innocent souls. It is heartless, and the stakes are high. And they couldn't be higher. The lives of our children hang in the balance every single day. This is not an opponent that can be shied away from or that we can back down from. But it will be beaten, and we're well on our way. You see, football is a special sport. 3/4 of the guys on the field go the entire game without even touching the ball. Half the guys are pretty fast, and half the guys are pretty fat. There's a lot of guys who could lift a lot, but there are a few guys on the team who could probably get outbenched by Charlie wherever he is floating around. But despite these differences, every single one of them contributes in their own way to the success of the team. We don't ask guys to change who they are or do things that they aren't capable of doing. We simply ask guys to maximize their roles and to use their full potential to help the team. And that's exactly what's happening in the fight against pediatric cancer. That's exactly what happens in every household that has had that doctor's visit or gotten that phone call. That's exactly what happens in the Bryce Jordan Center every February, and that's exactly what's happening in this room here tonight. It's the responsibility of each and every one of us to look within ourselves, to look at our own situation and ask, what can I bring to the hub? What can I do to make a difference in the lives of the people and the children who need it most? There are countless roles that can be filled and assets that can be utilized. For me and my teammates, it's a platform. We've been given an unbelievable opportunity to be public figures and role models within our community. It's extremely rare to be genuinely listened to when you're in your late teens and early 20s, and we understand the responsibility that comes with that. Shane just talked about it. Our work in the community and with Thon is well documented, and it's a testament to how important my teammates and I take our role and try to make the largest, most positive impact that we can. For some of you, it's resources. Every single dollar that goes to the 4Diamonds Fund goes directly to helping these kids. 70 cents of every dollar raised goes to research aimed at discovering new treatments for their diseases. The remaining funds go to either providing the social workers, music therapists, and massive support system that's made available to these kids and their families from day one, or to covering medical bills so that the families can focus on their role, providing the love and support that their children need. Without a consistent flow of donations and support, everything that has been built since the founding of the 4Diamonds Fund in 1972 would fall apart. Every year when those numbers get raised in the BJC, the applause rings out, not just for the people in the building, but for each and every one of you who has contributed to the 4Diamonds Fund. Whether it was a large, substantial donation or a few bucks you threw into a can at a red light. Every dollar counts and every dollar is essential. For the students at Penn State, it's energy. Every time that I meet someone associated with Thon, I'm in awe at the amount of time, energy, and passion that they put into the work that they do. This is more than just one weekend in February, guys. My fellow students pour their hearts and souls into this organization year-round. For every hour that's spent dancing in the BJC, and there's a lot of them, thousands, and I mean thousands of hours are spent by college students to make sure that every dollar counts, every event relating to Thon is a success, and every family that comes through 4 Diamonds has a life-changing, life-affirming experience. For each role that was just mentioned, there are dozens more that exist and need to be filled. We all have assets that can be used in this fight, and they're needed dearly. So I ask each and every one of you to look at yourselves in the mirror and ask, what can I bring to the huddle? What have I done? Am I maximizing my role, or can I do more? This fight's not going away. Without their strength, the fight will be lost. It's as simple as that. Asking children to be leaders of men and women is an impossible request, but it's a task that every child that has been touched with pediatric cancer has risen to. These kids are faced with more adversity in their first years than most of us face in a lifetime, and they rise to the occasion in a way that most of us would find impossible to emulate. As remarkable as the 4 Diamonds Fund, Thon, and Penn State's role is in this fight, it pales in comparison to the resiliency and spirit that's inside each and every one of these kids. They are why we fight, they are why we dance, they are our champions. Thank you.
Well, didn't have anything prepared for this part, but I just want to thank all of you for showing up here tonight. We're going to break out of the huddle. I think we have enough to think about, ponder in our hearts as we walk away. All I ask is for the next 12 months, think about how you want to participate. If it's the Conquer Run coming up in October, if it's going to Thon, watching the live stream, making a donation, talking to Suzanne Graney or anyone at the 4 Diamonds about something more serious, or if it's just next year wanting to be part of this committee to bring more people to this event. Whatever you decide is greatly appreciated, whatever you decide. So with that, we're going to break, and we'll circle back around here in a few minutes, but you have a question?
Yeah. Where's the biggest fighter of all? Charlie, get him out there.
Oh, and you know what? We got a special... birthday.
Oh, yeah. Don't make...
Did you have a plan?
Yeah,
Okay.
Everybody's singing, not just me.
That's right. Oh, yeah, we know. But hey, Charlie, Max, get up here. These two guys, proud of this guy, being a leader for his little brother. When Charlie needed his special shots in between treatment, 167 of them, every one, he wanted to put the Band-Aid on his little brother. Always did what he could to make it a special, even time. My mother-in-law, my father-in-law, Denny, where are you? You over there? Everybody's spread out. My wife. Yeah. This was a family effort. It's a team effort. The huddle I remember that our family had to have was at the kitchen table when we had to plan the 6 weeks and buy the 47 airline tickets to go back and forth, the schedule that Denny and I had to share, the 28 days that Vicki and Ann, well, 6 weeks, it was longer than 28 days, but 28 treatments to get this guy in every morning at 8:30. And you know what Max's biggest concern was? How many days do I get to see my brother? And when he found out he got to see more than 2/3 of it, he was pretty happy. So, you know, I'm really proud. And Charlie now, you know, he's 6 years old. Coach Myers was kind enough to let me coach 2nd through 9 camp at Downtown, although that's all like hush hush, don't say that right now. I just was a visitor. But Charlie decided, you know, the first couple days it was too early. We had to leave the house at 6:45, so messing up with his sleep schedule. But this guy, he shows up the end of the last day, he decides to go to camp, and I didn't realize how big he was. He was bigger than most of the 2nd graders. He was almost as big as the 3rd graders. And he finished 2nd in the obstacle course to a 4th grader. And Max, with Steve Pitts' son, Steve, because I was like, what's Steve Pitts' son's name? Steve. I couldn't remember. But I'm very proud of Max. And there's an award for each age group. They break them up into 2 age groups at this Philadelphia Eagles camp held over here at Lancaster Mennonite High School. And Steve and I both had shared how important it was for these kids to learn all the different positions, learn all the important parts of the game, and the strategy and the fun that the game offers. And I remember at 3 o'clock there was an award ceremony, and Ann and I are standing back towards the back, and we're getting to the end, and there's the Leadership Award, which is the last award they hand out. And up to that point, Max had received nothing. He didn't receive a hustle award, he didn't receive anything. And my wife then tugged me and she's like, this can't be happening. This can't be happening. I said, it'll be all right. I said, he hustled all week, something's gonna happen. And Max won the Leadership Award for his age group. And the Leadership Award from the Philadelphia Eagles means a lot because it has to do with being an all-around good player, not just good at catching and running and being fast, and he had a great performance report. But it's about being a leader, because when you have leaders in the huddle, it prevents bullying, and it's so important. And Max and Charlie, I'm proud of both of you. So right now, Jay, Mr. Paterno, this guy turns how old?
Me?
Yeah, how old are you? You're going to be 6. When?
July 25th.
All right.
Friday,
Friday, right? So we're going to let...
What'd you ask for your birthday? All right. Well, we're going to sing happy birthday to you. Everybody. There are no soloists. No. All right, 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Charlie. Happy birthday to you. And thank everybody for coming. And I wanted to share one story. This past, I guess it was February. Suzanne, when was it? February? We were in Hershey? And Suzanne gave us a tour of the Children's Hospital. And it's an amazing facility. And one of the people on the tour said to her, what's the survival rate? And she said 4 out of every 5 kids. I drove home that night and said, wow, 4 out of 5, that's great. And I have 5 kids at home. When I got home, they were all fast asleep, and I went room to room. And as I was heading to my room, I said, which one can I bear to lose? Remember, we're here tonight, and the fight continues to save the one. We've got the 4 taken care of. Let's get the last one. And on one last note, I want to say something about Ben Klein. Okay? If you're a Penn State fan, you have so much to be proud of in that young man. And I'm glad he didn't end up at Pitt. He didn't. You forgot that, didn't you? There was a little flirtation with a school out in Western PA. Luckily, he's very intelligent. He came to the right decision. I'm very proud of a guy like that. That is what Penn State football is. That is what Penn State football has always been and always will be. But more importantly, leave this huddle tonight. Find something to do in the next 12 months before we reconvene. And come back here and I want to hear what you did. Because we got to save that 1 out of 5. That should be our mission. Thank you very much.